Coach Colin Castelli here with Shot Mechanics Basketball, and welcome to our first episode of Ask Coach C Live, the show where you can ask me your questions in real time, and hopefully I can give you an answer. What up on 12%? I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, hey, overall, man, so this is kind of the very first episode that we're going to do, with this. And this is basically just a really cool interaction show where I want you guys to be able to ask questions. I want to be able to answer them and really kind of get to really help you guys out with whatever it is that you need. So what we're going to do here is just a little bit, everybody just kind of introduce yourselves to the chat. And also whatever comments you post right now, that also shows up on the video for later. So what's cool is I'm actually going to look at this video afterwards. I'm going to check out all the comments. I'm going to see what I missed. And then that might be some of the stuff that I lead with next time. Because like I always say, this is a channel for the people, by the people. And I really try to bring you guys content that number one you want and number two is actually going to help you guys get better. Those are kind of my two main goals when it comes to shot mechanics. So let's head this bad boy off. This is maybe just a little bit low of a camera. Let me see if I can grab this box here and hopefully not have my camera go flying. I had a feeling that might happen. We're back. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we can do. Well, that box is too high. All right, let's start with Jonathan Christian. He says, how do I get confidence on the court? Now, this is a really good question because a lot of players struggle with confidence. And, unfortunately, there's a lot of coaches that are in the business of taking confidence away. So my kind of, my, what's the word I'm looking for? Equation for confidence is this: reps plus success equals confidence. It's really hard to be confident if you haven't worked in your skill and worked on your abilities. So the very first thing you got to do is you got to get reps, you got to get in the gym, and you got to build those actual fundamental skills that are going to help you have the success. Now, once that happens, you need a chance to have the success. So really it's all about trying to get those game reps and being, kind of looking at things from an aerial view. I used to always think about it to myself as, basketball is not the end of the world. There's no reason to not have confidence on the basketball court because it's not a life or death situation. So really all you got to do is it's a really big mental game where you got to kind of beat yourself and kind of jump over that hurdle mentally, and that's going to help you have more kind of success and more confidence on the court. Now, you're going to have other things like coaches that are going to kind of drag you down a little bit, but you really just got to work on that mental game. That's probably the best way to go about it. What else we got here? Sorry, I'm on front of the camera here. How to become a more consistent shooter. Some days I shoot lights out. Other days I make nothing. Thanks for the question there, Tony. So being a consistent shooter really has to do with, number one, your mechanics, and number two, making those mechanics repeatable, right? We're not called shot mechanics for nothing. So really what you can do is you can kind of hone and refine your mechanics pretty easily and make it so that, they can be repeated a lot of times. What I see with a lot of young shooters is they have, maybe one or two major flaws in their mechanics, and those same flaws are sometimes a big factor and sometimes they aren't. And that's where the streakiness and inconsistency comes from. So what I would do if I was you is I would really work on, number one, trying to find those mechanical flaws, right? You can watch our videos, you can download my automatic shooting system, is a great program to do that. And a lot of times by kind of finding out those mechanical flaws, you can fix them, and many times in the first 10, 15 minutes, you can become a much better shooter almost immediately. So really consistency is all about mechanics to me, and that's why I named my company Shot Mechanics. That's why that's a lot of the stuff that we talk about, because I really think that it's that important. But great question, great question. Let's see what else we got. Keep them coming, keep them coming. How am I not in the NBA? This is a good question. I get this one a lot. Honestly, I'm a little bit too short. I'm a little bit too slow. I've got long distance running genetics. I'm a really good long distance runner and was probably a lot more talented at that than I was at being in the NBA. And, honestly, to play professional basketball, I could have went and played overseas, and I probably could still play overseas if I wanted to. But the thing is, I like being at home. I like being with my family. I don't like traveling all over the place. And so really doing shot mechanics is kind of the perfect job for me. I get to be in the gym. I get to train kids. I get to train pros. I get to do all that sort of stuff and really help as many people as I possibly can. So, long story short, I'm not in the NBA, not really big enough, not really strong enough, not really fast enough, but still love the game, and hopefully I can teach you guys something. What else you guys got? So somebody wants to know Kool-Aid Worms. Now that is a dope name, by the way. Kool-Aid Worms wants to know, how do I get more points without hogging the ball? That's a super good question. So there's kind of this fine line that you need to go behind between, number one, shooting enough, right? Because you got to shoot and you got to look to score to actually score points, but you don't want to hog the ball. That's absolutely true. So what I like to do is I like to get my teammates involved by setting screens. Now it seems kind of weird that to score points you'd set screens, but it's actually a trick that works really well. So what I do if I'm really wanting to get some more buckets is I go around and I start setting screens for teammates, and what you end up finding happens is that your man's going to help off of that screen, and it's going to allow you to get open more often. So I really, really would suggest setting a lot of screens, especially like back picks. If you set a back pick on a teammate, they can cut to the hoop, and then you can pop for a wide open jump shot. So really, there's no such thing as being a ball hog if you're taking good shots, right? If you're taking bad shots, then that's kind of being a bit of a ball hog and something that your teammates probably don't want. So what I would do is I would just set a lot of screens. Number one, it's going to get teammates open more. Number two, it's going to get you open more. So not only are you not going to be a ball hog, but you're going to get more looks just like that. What else we got here? How to do an in-air and layup. Okay, so Io Froke, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, brother, wants to know how to get onto a college team or NBA. So basically, it's really important, that you kind of have to keep moving through the steps. Junior high ball, you got to make the high school team. High school team, you got to get recruited. Recruited, you got to make college. College, you got to make pro, and so on and so forth. So there's really no, perfect situation that can help you out. To get recruited to college, I highly recommend the Captain U guys. So you can go to shopmechanics.com/CaptainU. That's a great place to sign up for a free recruiting profile, and it's an awesome tool that allows you to connect with coaches. So you could try that out if you wanted to. You could really, it's number one about skill. Number two, it's about exposure. So work on the skill, try to get as much exposure as you can, and that's the best bet that you can possibly have. All right, hey, I see some people being mean to each other in comments. Everybody just chill. Everybody just chill a little bit. All right, so Jeremy Blundet, sorry again if I mispronounced your name, wants to know how to increase his jumps during basketball. So I think he wants to know how to increase his vertical leap. So his vertical leap, I've had some good luck with plyometrics. I'm not naturally a high jumper. That's just not the way my body was. But I went really hard with plyometrics in college for a while, and I gained about 8 or 9 inches to my vertical leap, and I could dunk for a while. Unfortunately, if I don't actively stay on it, it goes away pretty quick. But I would highly recommend plyometric and bodyweight type stuff. So that's squat jumps, scissor jumps, all that sort of good stuff. Just Google plyometric training, and that's a great way to figure out, exactly how you can get those ups. It doesn't happen overnight. You can do some jump technique stuff that can help out quite a bit, but really it's best if you can kind of, work on those plyometrics. And over time, it might take 2 months, might take 3 months, but you're going to start seeing results by the end of it. Somebody says, what should I do with my KD9s? The zoom popped on the bottom and I don't know what to do. Vlogs 101. You want to know what? That's one of the reasons why I stopped wearing Nikes. I was wearing KDs as well. Zoom unit popped. I'd only had them for a couple months. And then this leading thing came around where they wanted to sponsor the channel. And I was like, absolutely, I'm down to give something else a shot. And I've been happy ever since. So the answer is maybe try something other than Nikes. All right, B-Ball Ferguson wants to know, how do I increase my range? That's a solid question. Now, there's a few main things that help. Number one, turning your feet slightly. A lot of coaches want you to square your toes to the basket like this, but if you turn them just slightly, so if I'm a righty, I'm going to turn them to my left, that alleviates a lot of shoulder tension, immediately giving you more range. The second big one that I would recommend is loading the ball lower, right? If you take the ball and load it instead of loading it by your chest when you're getting ready to shoot, if you load it down by your waist or by your thighs, that's going to give you more upper momentum, more pop, more spring into your shot, and thus more range. Generally, if you do those two things, you can increase your range by probably 4, 5, 6 feet, just like that. So give that a shot and see if it works out. Ooh, shot pocket help. So John Gonzalez wants to know shot pocket help. So just like I was just talking about, right? If you can load that ball lower instead of higher, right? A lot of coaches say triple threat and they want you to load the ball right here. But the only problem is with that, if you're loading the ball here, you don't get that upward momentum. So shot pocket, load it lower, right? Tap your shooting elbow to your hip, and that's going to bring the ball down into that perfect shot pocket. All right, so somebody wants to know how to stop using your offhand when shooting. So there's a few different things you can do. Pretty much probably the easiest thing is to pinch something in your guide hand between your thumb and the side, almost like you're making a karate chop. So like I've used a quarter or a dime or a nickel or something like that before. I don't have one sitting right here, so I'm going to use an SD card for my camera. But whatever it is, you find something small and you can pinch it in between your thumb just like this and practice shooting with it. So what happens is by pinching this, you can't push with your thumb without dropping whatever it is you're holding. So what I would do is I would just get my reps up right here, just pinching it with my thumb. That way your thumb's always staying connected and can't actually push the basketball. That's the best way to get the thumb out of your guide hand shot for sure. And after a few reps of that, and after maybe a couple weeks of just kind of shooting around, it's going to get there pretty quick. All right, what else we got? Coach, I tend to have a set point over the top of my head. How do I A, lower it, and B, move it to the front of my forehead? I've been trying for weeks. So King Wenzel 5 wants to know that. So set point's tough, right? Especially if you're used to bringing it over your head. And a lot of times what people don't understand is the set point timing is incredibly important, like maybe one of the most important things when it comes to shooting. And so what happens is even if you're getting to your set point, if it's too early, you're going to have a really hard time struggling to switch that set point to a lower set point. So what I want you to do is take a video of yourself, look at it, and see when the ball's reaching that set point. Even if you're trying to bring it down by your forehead, see when it's reaching that point. If your legs are still bent, that means that it's going to have a really hard time transferring your momentum and energy, and it's going to be hard to switch from having that above your head set point. So really, if you look at the best shooters in the world, guys like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Kyle Korver, pretty much all the great shooters, the ball is reaching their set point as their toes are getting ready to leave their ground. So their body's pretty much straight right as the ball's starting to get to their set point. So what you can do is try that out and then try the lower set point, and sometimes that's going to help it translate a little bit better. All right, I'm seeing some requests for Ball Brothers shooting secrets. Hopefully I can get to it. I feel kind of lame doing stuff on high school kids. I don't want to be jumping on the bandwagon, but I know a lot of people want to see it, so maybe I'll do it. So Angry Axton Al Nut wants to know, why don't you do a video series with Coach Rock? I actually am. Coach Rocky's one of my good friends. We text, email each other all the time. And we've been planning on, I'm going to take a trip out there. We're going to shoot some content. We're going to put some on my channel, on his channel, and hopefully help you guys out. He's one of the best dudes in the game, so most definitely. Looking for another one. Running out of time. We can go about 15 minutes, and we're about at the 13-minute mark right now. So somebody wants to know, Mustafa Jaffrey wants to know, what are high school varsity coaches looking at during tryouts? So number one, they're looking at skill and athleticism. They might tell you that they're looking for hustle, or that they're looking for, guys that get it done in the classroom. I hear coaches say that all the time. But what it comes down to is, number one, they're going to look at skill, and they're going to look at athleticism. Those are the two things that really kind of win ball games, and those are the things that they want. After that, they might look to fill out the roster with kind of good character guys. But skill and athleticism are the two biggest ones. So number one, you got to work on your skill, and I highly recommend shooting, like big time. Shooters get playing time because they stretch the floor and they make it that much harder for the defense to guard. So I would definitely work on shooting first for your skill, because it's really hard to cut a shooter. And then the second thing is athleticism, right? The bigger, faster, stronger you can get, the better it's going to be. But you want to play to your athleticism. We can't all be 6'6", right? We can't all be super explosive like LeBron. So what you need to do is play to your athleticism. You take a guy like Isaiah Thomas, right? He plays to his athleticism. He uses his kind of, shorter height to an advantage. And that's what you have to do too if you're trying to make that team. All right, so I'm seeing some questions on shooting. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time, so here's what I want you to do. Go to shotmechanics.com. Hopefully this isn't backwards. It's backwards on my camera. Go to shotmechanics.com/live, L-I-V-E. Sorry. My handwriting is kind of terrible. Shotmechanics.com/live. And what I'm going to do is over there, I've got my free #1 NBA shooting workout. Now, this is a shooting workout that I haven't released to you guys yet. And what's great about it is it's going to increase your jumper's consistency. It's going to increase your range. It's going to increase your jumper's speed. It's kind of that overall tune-up that it probably needs. So if you go to shotmechanics.com/live, for right now, probably the next day it'll be available for free. So all you got to do, enter your email. I'm going to send it right over to you there. So hopefully you get in and you get to check it out. Is there any way to... So somebody in the comments, do me a solid and hit shotmechanics.com/live so everybody can copy and paste that if they need to. But hey, you guys are awesome. This 15 minutes flew by. I think this Ask Coach C series is pretty tight. I love being able to interact with you guys. What do you think? Do you think I should get on here more often? Like, should this be like a twice a week sort of thing? Should it be a once a week sort of thing? Is it lame? Overall, we got about 150 people on here watching right now. We've got about 119 thumbs up. So before you leave, hit that thumbs up, that like button. That way we keep blowing it up. Oh, nice. Lazarus, you're the man. Thanks for putting it in there. I can see you. You guys are killing me. Yeah, hit that like button. Thanks, fellas. As always, I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. You guys are the reason Shot Mechanics is a thing, and allow me to help people all over the world, and we're going to keep bringing you more content. So what are my shoes real quick? I wear Li Nings, right? So they're a Chinese shoe brand. They're the same brand that Dwayne Wade sponsored with. They're really, really nice. You can search Li Ning, Li-Ning, and they're pretty sweet. All right. Hey, so hit shotmechanics.com/live to get that free shooting workout. I hope to see you guys inside. And if not, leave your questions in the comment section down below because this is where I'm going to pull some of the first stuff that I talk about in the next one. All right. Take care. Splash on. I love you all.